East
We're
Hampton
usually
School Board, you are live and up on YouTube.
Thank you very much. Have a motion to call the meeting to order?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. So our first order of business is the public hearing for repair reserve. We don't need a motion or anything, do I, to open them?
You just opened the public hearing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and then once everybody is finished, then you'll adjourn the public hearing and then you'll make a motion to open the regular meeting.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna turn it over to Sam instead of reading this long thing.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time this evening. Sorry about back to the audience. So we're here tonight to talk, have our first repair reserve public hearing. So just as a reminder of where we are, in May, the voters established a repair reserve, which is a savings account that's used for certain situations. The voters authorized us to create a repair reserve of up to $5 million over a 10-year period. At the end of June this year, again, in June 2022, the board put $2 million in the repair reserve. So it has not been touched at all. So there's $2 million plus a little interest. So the repair reserve is used to supplement needed repairs for projects that aren't included in other sources of funds. I should also say before we go any further, I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce the Greg Coble, the facilities director who's here. He was instrumental in putting together this list of projects. Thank you for being here. So repair has a specific definition under the law, and it's going to, we have it here. Essentially, the key words are decayed, deteriorated, weathered, broken, torn, inoperable, or inoperable. So as long as it hits one of those things, you can use the money from the savings account to fund it. So how do you access the repair reserve? It's a three-step process. We have identified projects that are needed. The board holds a public hearing so you can learn about those projects and the public can learn about them as well. That's what we're doing here right now. And then step three, the board will vote, could vote to authorize use of the repair reserve funds. There's an item on your agenda later on this evening that you can authorize us to go forward with these reserves. So I want to take you through the projects now, show you what we're looking at. We need work at our generators at each of our buildings. The generators in each building are a different state of functionality. So we need to spend about $192,000 to get all three generators in working condition. There is some exterior painting at the elementary school that needs to happen. You can see we have the arrows showing the cracked, the flaking off of the paint. So we need to bring in a contractor to do some outside painting. We need to work on the compressors for the chillers in each of our buildings. They're not functioning properly due to wear and tear, so we want to put in some work to make sure we have functioning compressors. We have fencing issues at all three of our buildings. You can see some of the, I think the top picture is from the middle school.
Yeah.
The fence is being completely taken over by the shrubs. At the high school, in particular, the softball fencing, it's completely bent out of shape because the student athletes are hitting balls into it for practice, which I understand why they want to practice, but it's completely warping the fence. And then we have some boundary line fencing here at the high school also that needs to be worked on. These are just some examples. There is fencing issues at all three buildings. We want to do work on the lobby doors and hardware at each of our buildings. We're looking to, particularly here at the high school, we have some interior lobby doors that are all glass. We're looking to make some safety improvements by getting rid of this outdated technology stuff that is not really operable under optimal conditions and replace it with a door that has a smaller glass panel, more of a fiberglass panel, helps stop somebody who may be seeking to enter the building improperly. You can see we have dents and scratches with the hardware and doors all around the district. Here at the high school, we have a loading dock leveler. This is a piece of machinery that works when a truck will come to drop stuff off with us. It's rusted, it needs to be replaced. We've tried to repair it, we're out of options at this point. It needs to be repaired. We have boiler issues at all three of our buildings. At the high school, that's the picture on the top. The gaskets between boiler sections are really at the end of their useful life. And we have boiler issues at the elementary school as well. with some flooding that happens when the boiler is not running, which is obviously not optimal. At the middle school, we want to have it tuned and refurbished for optimal performance. At John Marshall, the teacher desks are in horrendous condition. We would like to replace as many of the desks as we can. They are broken, they are worn, they're not.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they all look like. Our AEDs throughout the district have reached or are about to reach the end of their useful life. We need to replace them, get batteries. We should say that there is a tremendous back ordering for AEDs anyway. It's going to take several months to get these things in, maybe 6 months to 8 months, but we need money out of the repair reserve to help replace.
Sam, how many do we have of them?
I think we have, how many is this?
We're adding a lot. Those are the ones that we're adding too, and they're
Yeah, we're adding 12, I think, when we added this.
outdoor ones.
Yes, without some outdoor options for improved.
Because you got about a 5-minute window
Yeah.
Yeah,
to get out
so-
a victim when you need that.
Right, and so we want to make sure that all the AEDs are working. We want to buy some exterior boxes so they can be mounted on posts or on fences outside, so they're there in the event somebody needs them to use. We have dehumidifiers that have reached the end of their life that need to be replaced, not fully functioning for optimal air quality. At the high school, we have the gym divider wall. It is not functioning very well. It has,
It functions and it just passed an inspection, but it did warn us.
it's pretty much at the end. Right? Yeah. So we want to replace it with a net that would come down from the ceiling. It's significantly cheaper. It is much easier to maintain and much easier to use. There is some rot on the baseball and softball dugouts, so we want to spend some money you can see some of the wood rot there. We want to obviously take out the wood, use some metal trimming to help prevent future rotting. When I first got here, I noticed that we have a practice football field with just one goalpost. I don't know a ton about football, but I know 2 is probably an optimal way to play football. Just guessing. But obviously, so this goalpost is not repairable and one that's,
Required tennis shot.
yeah. At the middle school, the music room, one of the music rooms has this carpet that is just really awful. We want to take it out. There's a beautiful wood floor underneath. It needs to be refurbished, and then it will create a much nicer learning environment for the music students.
Can I ask a stupid question, maybe?
Sure.
Is the carpet there to sort of dampen the sound of the music? Like, do you want a
No,
wood floor in the music
we
room?
want the wood floor, and so does the teacher.
They do,
It's
okay.
better for sound, for strings.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just wondering.
Gym floor here at the high school needs to be completely sanded down and refinished. There's enough wood left on it to sand it all down. It will be refinished, new lines will finish. It's going to look great when we're done with it. We have a number of trees throughout the district. We've had several tree companies come in to give us estimates. Everybody agrees with the general consensus that there are several large trees that are in danger of falling down, which is obviously a serious safety issue. There are other trees that need to be thinned, either a dead limb or too much overgrowth. So we want to bring in a contractor to help us out with that. This tree is here on Long Lane. As you can see, you can pretty much see right through the trunk.
Sam, are there any dedicated trees or any plaques
Not
on
that,
any of those trees?
not that we are aware of. We will check again. But again, even if there is a dedicated tree, we're obviously sympathetic to the person that is dedicated to the cause, but we're being told by experts it's going to fall down. I think we have a safety issue.
Something
Yeah.
there or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the plan to replace.
The ice machine here at the high school makes a little bit of ice and a lot of it of sludge, which you can see at the top there. So we need to replace that.
Thank you.
And the stove here in the high school in the fax room, that's the stove. It doesn't work. So in order to teach the class, we need to work.
And that's an original one, so
Right.
the original.
Those are the projects. I know we went through a lot of that real quick, but that's what we're looking to spend the repair reserve on in this first round. We may come back to you again this year with other projects we identify, but this is where we are so far. And again, I want to thank Greg and obviously all the administrators for their help in developing this list.
And Sam, because we have that reserve fund to do all those projects, it's not gonna cost the taxpayer.
Correct. That's the great use of the repair reserve, is that there's absolutely no impact on our taxes. It's something that you, the board, can authorize that we can take care of right away without having to have a larger plan and go to the public. There are certainly reasons to go to the public for certain expenditures, but the flexibility of the repair reserve allows us to take money that's in the savings account that the voters established, funded from excess fund balance at the end of the year to accomplish things before they become major capital projects.
It's good budgeting. You have to do it. It's like your house.
The total on it.
Total is on the
Is
resolution.
that 994?
Yeah, it's 994.
Oh, okay.
Just under $1 million.
So-
Okay, so you still have money left in the.
And how much do we have, how much do we have right now in the reserve?
2 million plus, 4 months of
Up to a
interest.
maximum of 10 million? with-
It's up to a maximum of 5 million. So again, the way that works is, it's not like, okay, so there's 2 million in there now, we're gonna take out close to 1 million. That we still only have 3 million left that we can put in there. It's not, once it comes out, you can cut it down.
Right,
It's
unless,
one
that- and then
shot.
we would go to the voters and we would go to reauthorize a new thing if we chose to do it after that $5 million.
If the board is happy with the success of how this works, once we've exhausted the $5 million of funding, you can go back to the voters for permission to go again in the same amount, different amount. It's a great fund. I think we're lucky the voters approved it and we're able to make use of it. It's a way to accomplish projects without them becoming major capital project issues.
Thank you very much. Does anybody in the public have have anything to say? Question, comment? Matt, does anybody on LTV have any, or YouTube have a comment?
No, there's no callers on the line, sir.
All right. We'll move to close the hearing.
I make the motion.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much, Sam. All right, so,
And thank you, Greg.
Yes.
He did the legwork.
now, can I have a motion to open the regular meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, let's see, so we're at, okay, go ahead.
Dr. Soriano in the middle school.
Thank you, sir. So it's hard to believe we were talking about this before, but this is the 8th year of Science Olympiad, which time has really flown by. It began with a very small group and a few teachers, and now it is where we have 2 7th graders with us tonight that you'll be hearing from, and 4 of our advisors, but it has grown to 31 students. And they are competing. There are over 5,000 teams across the country in all 50 states. But this relatively young team, and even though they're entering their 8th year, they're competing against well-established teams up island for over 25, 30 years that dominate. However, as one of our advisors just pointed out, our team has been doing increasingly well and placing in first, second, and third place in some of the categories. So these students that you'll hear from compete in multiple categories across science, technology, engineering, and math, and they're supported by 4 very enthusiastic staff members who are here with them that will also be talking about Science Olympiad. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Mouchy, who's first.
Good evening. Thanks for listening to us this evening. I had started Science Olympiad a number of years ago with now some students who are in sophomores, juniors in college now. Science Olympiad, as Dr. Soriano had mentioned, is head of our STEM curriculum for the past 8 years. As Dr. Soriano mentioned, it's a national program. It asks different aspects of science, biology, chemistry, all those types of things, science, tech, engineering, art, math. Many successes at regional and invitational tournaments. We take great pride in sniping some pretty high placing from teams who kind of get annoyed with us. Team has many successes. Our program conditions our students through adversity and occasional failure. Program itself is almost designed for the students to fail, adapt, problem solve, and keep trying, and overcoming those obstacles as each of the events present. Program allows students a productive outlet to engage in critical thinking skills, collaborate with their peers, and providing opportunity for camaraderie for different grade levels and different team development. So thank you very much, and I pass the torch to Brian Smith.
Hi, thank you for having us tonight. The past 8 years, we've had consistent student enrollment. As per the Science Olympiad rules, each of our 2 teams operate with 15 students. When more than 30 students are interested, we run a farm team, which has happened every few years, which allows newer members to get a chance to get their feet wet. At the middle school, we offer flexible days and hours to assist students. These times include during the school day where coaches are available every day, roughly 4 periods a day, and on Saturday mornings for 3 hours in the technology room. Saturday mornings are often used for build events. And in addition, we have these 2 competitions, the invitational competition, usually in January, the regional event in March, and we are judges in those competitions. There's about 25 to 30 different competitions, and it's really fun to watch our students compete against these other schools and also make friendships with kids there. It's always fun to get their feedback when they come back. And I'm going to hand it over to Ray Patelli, 7th grade science teacher. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. So from year to year, the events change with this program. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, but this year, some of the events include the roller coaster, bridge, flight, anatomy and physiology, fast facts, and the sound of music. So as you can tell, there's a lot of diversity in these subjects, and really kind of reaches to any kid what they could be interested in. But what I could say is only going to give you so much. We have tonight with us 2 students who can speak from a student's perspective what the Olympiad means. Please welcome Miss Allison Ferez and Mr. Jerry Wynn.
Science Olympiad because I wanted to try something new. I came back the following year because I made new friendships and learned new things. Some of our challenges are when we build some things and it doesn't always turn out the way we want it to go. I built a bridge in under a week with my friend Bunny, and it did not meet the rules, regulations too, so we had to restart it. Another challenge was Mission Impossible. It's a Rube Goldberg style, so basically it's trying to get one simple marble to a simple task in under the less time. Building a light efficient bridge made out of balsa wood that can hold the most weight out of X amount of kids. The event named Roller Coaster is a lasting issue, having to make paper track to transport a marble down 60 centimeters and attempting to take as long as time as possible. Fast Facts is an event that uses your knowledge of random things you already know. Thank you. So, I'm Gary Wing. I chose Science Olympiad because it was something really fun to do, honestly, in general. Originally, a little while ago last year, probably like a few weeks from now, Mr. Smith recommended me to join it. And I thought about it a little bit, and I decided to go for it. It was a good decision that I made since that following decision. I learned some new things from it. The bridge building, I did a bridge building event last year in Code Busters. It was pretty fun though. I didn't really, like, in my opinion, I didn't really have any challenges except for like Code Busters, where you had to like learn all these like new ciphers and coding languages to like decipher different things that you get on the paper at the competition. But later on, I managed to get used to it. As you can see here, I'm doing Science Olympiad again. Why? Well, it's because I liked it. It was a pretty good community, and I wanted to do it again. I'm doing anatomy and physiology and Rhodes Scholar this year. Hopefully, things will go well this year as things progress prior to the competition in March. Thank you for listening. Have a good night. Seventh grade.
Seventh grade. Wow. You seem very, very, very smart.
So as you can see, I'm Nick Manazzo, excuse me. As you can see, the Science Olympiad program allows a wide diversity of students along with a wide diversity of different topics of science or tech or engineering, arts, mathematics. Basically, there's something for everyone. We've had some monumental failures when it comes to Science Olympiad. Some of them brought on by coaches, some of them brought on by students, some of them just happened. But we've also had some huge successes. And last year was kind of one of our best years in terms of our finishes. As Dr. Sorno kind of alluded to, we were able to finish 1, 2 in an event. We were able to finish 3, 4 in an event. We're talking among 30 probably other teams. So, we've had these awesome successes. We look forward to having more success this spring and many successes for springs to come. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. One thing is clear though, Mr. Smith needs to grow a beard. That's the one thing that I got.
Way too soon.
Now, Sarah, your name is Smith. He's not your father, is he? Go ahead. Miss Smith, you're in school.
And you guys, if you want to go too, thank you for coming. If you guys just.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, he's got it, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for coming tonight. It was a great presentation.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for rocking.
All right. So we had, I'll let them exit, sorry.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for your work.
I got you.
So we were really excited today. All of our 11th grade English classes went to Bay Street Theater to see All Things Equal, the life and trials of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It was the first time we've been able to do a full theater production since pre-COVID. And according to Mrs. Dunn, who promptly sent a thank you note to everyone as soon as they got back, she said the students were attentively engaged and they asked relevant questions to the actress. It was a one-woman show and they were all super into it the whole time. I am so proud of our students for the level of maturity they displayed during the trip. What a fantastic way to bring theater going back to EH. Thanks again, Go Bonic. So it was a huge success. So thank you for your support with letting them go. And thank you to the bus department for getting us there. We have parent-teacher conferences this Wednesday and Thursday. We are looking forward to seeing parents so that they can take advantage of the opportunity to meet with teachers and to stay abreast of their child's progress. That's 4 to 6 this Wednesday and Thursday. Also on Thursday, again, the first time since pre-COVID, the Suffolk County Principals Association is bringing back Compassion Without Borders. And so 10 students will be accompanying me and Mr. McQuicchio and Ms. Newman, our psychologist, to go for the day to experience Compassion Without Borders. We're really looking forward to, I've never experienced it as a principal. We're also very much hoping to host next year. So we will be shamelessly stealing any good ideas they have in hopes of bringing them here for next year.
Where is it taking place?
Center Reach High School this year.
And is it an array of students from the different grades or?
So we have grades. We focused on grades 10 and 11 in hopes of them being able to put it into place next year. So we have primarily 10 and 11th grade students going, a mix of different kinds of students, and it's all the different Suffolk County high schools participating. Yeah, so we're looking forward to it. Speaking of trips, our student association is going to Niagara Falls next Monday and Tuesday for the leadership conference there, where they will bond as a group, but also be able to work with other student leaders from all over the state and bring some of those great ideas back here. And that is our first kind of flight and travel since I've been principal, and I'm not nervous about them flying it off. And and then we have our junior career event also Thursday. Thursday's a big day. That's where students, our juniors, are able to meet with members of the community who are in the profession that they're interested in. And last but not least, I can't believe I'm announcing this already, December 2nd is our huge Bonnet Lights kickoff. I know, I can't believe we're there. And again, you know, it was a wonderful event started by Mr. Lester and the Masons last year. That he has ordered more lights. We will have the whole kit and caboodle there. The band, the dance team will be selling, we'll have activities for kids. And just a reminder that all of those proceeds, the Masons generously donate back to us in the form of scholarships. So again, that's December 2nd.
Is
that just one weekend or is it?
So they will be hosting, great question, they will be hosting, actually they're beginning the weekend after Thanksgiving. I believe it's the 25th.
Okay.
Or 26th and 27th probably. And then Springs, I believe, has the December 9th. And the middle school.
We have one of the nights our musical groups are performing.
Yeah, I think I want to say the 14th potentially. So each district sort of has a different night, and we will kick it off on the 2nd. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Karen?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just have a few things I'll share with you, some happenings at John Marshall. All of our clubs are up and running for the year, and I thought I'd share that our activities club is currently running a food drive. Actually, Miss Pamela Sandoval happens to be here this evening. She is our activities club advisor. Our activities club students have been working so hard, so we encourage families who are able to send in dry goods to donate to the food drive. This Thursday evening, we are having, Miss Patterson and I will be hosting our kindergarten dual language night. So we have a number of parent nights throughout the year. The first one of the year, which is on Thursday, is dedicated to kindergarten families, new families to the program. So we'll be hosting that at John Marshall on Thursday. And lastly, I'd like to thank Chris Gregory and Luke Goodstein. We had an idea. I think Sam might have been around one day. We were walking through the building and we thought, wouldn't it be cool if our screens were active and we're able to announce student birthdays and our Reading Rock Stars. So those screens are both up and running, and students now, it displays our students' reading hours as well as, student birthdays. So thank you to the two of them for making that project happen.
Thank you. Masterson?
Thank you, Mr. Fine. So following students will represent East Hampton at the New York State Swimming Championships this weekend at Webster Aquatic Center. Hopefully we don't get the 2 feet of snow they're predicting. Jane Brierly, Ava Costello, Elizabeth Daniels, Lily Griffin, and Cameron Hatch. This past weekend, Dylan Cashin participated in the New York State Cross Country Championships at Verona Sherrill High School. She placed 52nd overall in the state. Golfers, we talked about this a little bit before, but golfers Trevor Stahecki and Nico Haram will represent East Hampton in the New York State Golf Championships this spring at Elmira Mark Twain Golf Course. That's going to be on June 3rd and 5th. They qualified this year. Winter tryouts are off to a great start. We have really large numbers in boys basketball, good numbers in girls basketball, wrestling, swimming, boys and girls winter track, cheerleading, and bowling. And just a reminder, Spring Gardener is 12/3, the day after our lights. And Kendall Madison tournament is the 9th and the 10th of December.
Any cuts in it? Do we have to cut any
Yes.
sports had to have cuts?
Yes.
And the kids that didn't make it, have they got other opportunities or given that?
The one sport that is the biggest right now that will have the most cuts will be boys basketball. Their opportunities will be, we have lower numbers at the winter track level, so they could go and join winter track, and or wrestling. Mr. Mitchell will take anyone he can get.
Right.
And also, in order for them to continue and want to try out next year, excuse me, I got something in my eye, they can go to Coach White has off-season workouts in the spring, in the summer, and in the fall. So they can
Is there
capitalize
any,
on those opportunities.
The boys swimming, right?
Mhm.
How big is that? Is that?
That is
No cuts there, right?
right now, boys swimming is at 15. So we're okay. We could have a couple more kids. Yep. Yep.
Good. And wrestling is good, growing?
Wrestling is great. Right now, wrestling, we are up to, for wrestling, 38 kids.
Wow, that's very good.
Yeah.
That's been a
Mr.
while.
Mitchell is doing a phenomenal job.
I've heard that.
All of our coaches are. Any other questions?
No, good.
The pool's working well.
Public comment for agenda items. Does anybody in the audience have a public comment?
No, there's.
Matt, do you have anybody?
Oops, sorry, I thought you were talking to me. Yeah, there's no caller. Sorry about that. Sorry for interrupting.
That's all right, no problem. Thank you. All right, the superintendent's report and recommendations. I'm sorry, did I skip that? I'm sorry. I have a motion for the consent agenda.
I make motion.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Then we're on to the superintendent's report and recommendations. Item number. Yeah, okay, I got it. So, number one, recommend the board approve the following appointments for the 2022-23 school year that begins with instructional substitutes and ends with home teaching Nancy McGurk. Can I have a motion?
I second.
Any discussion? All standard, standard stuff. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Number two, recommend the board approve the following resolution, resolved that in compliance with the provisions of section 3012 of the education law, part 30.3 of the rules of the Board of Regents, and upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, the East Hampton Union Free School District Board of Education grant Christy Deligny tenure in the area of elementary education, grades 1 through 6. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion. Second.
Second. Can you please stand up? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Number three. Recommend the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby adopts the proposed 2023-24 budget development calendar. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion. Second.
Second? There's no discovery. We have.
Yeah, just one thing for the board to know. The board gave me a directive last year we kind of cut them down. We were here, I think 4. We brought it down to 3 nights. What we did this year, after I talked about it with Sam, we instead of adding 3 additional nights for ourselves in the community, we put them on board meeting nights. So we'll start a little earlier. We'll have everybody here. I think we'll get my take from LTV is we will have a bigger audience actually watching it and paying attention to what we're presenting.
All right,
So,
instead of every week.
It's
yes.
better for everybody.
I think
That way
so.
everybody doesn't have to be here, additional nights and it's the same work, just get it done.
Yes.
Great, thank you for doing that.
And then we'll just kick into the board meeting right after that.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve the contract agreement between the East Hampton Union Free School District and Charles Westergaard, Network Systems Administrator, effective July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026, in accordance with the terms and conditions of said contract agreement, and authorize the superintendent of schools to sign said contract. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Congratulations.
We're very happy. Chuck is going to stay on at least another 3 years. Does a great job.
Chuck
Really
does a really
does.
great job. We're lucky to have him, and thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5, recommend that the board approve the following resolution. Whereas on September 6th, 2022, the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District contracted with Chucky's Driving School, DBAC MV Driving School LLC, East Hampton, New York, under the terms of the bid 22-23-1A driver's education in-car instructions. There's a whole bunch of whereas as resolved. I'll go right to the bottom, resolved. That the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby notifies Chucky's Driving School, DBA CMV Driving School LLC, of its intent to invoke Article 7, cancellation of the bidding documents on January 1st, 2023, unless Chucky's Driving School, DBA CMV Driving School LLC can fulfill the full insurance requirements by that date. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second? If anybody wants to read the rest of it, it's certainly posted online, you can.
But I got some questions before.
Sure.
Is there a strong possibility he'll come up with the insurance?
Our business office is working with the instructor, and we're hoping to see if we can continue it
All
going
right,
forward.
so let's suppose he doesn't, then goodbye.
New York State, yes, New York State has allowed us to continue on with our lecture program with the parents signing off on the driving. There's 24 hours signing that has to be documented and submitted, which is, it's a lot actually on the parents, but a lot of the parents are doing that right now. So we will ultimately, hopefully, see if we can get the driving, obviously with an instructor is the best way to go. As a parent who just did this last year, it's a tough go, for a variety of reasons. But, right now we need to, make sure our, district is covered and the kids are covered.
This is also similar to what we did during COVID, right? We did the theory, but we couldn't do
This is the
that.
first time we've done driving in 2 years.
We have a long-term plan. Next year, we want to make sure we come at this with a much better plan.
That'll be, yes. So we've mentioned it a few times at board meetings. So during budget presentation, one of the things that I think we'll be proposing is to bring driver's education back into the school building. It is, I believe, when we look at our preliminary numbers, we'll be presented it as very much financially and staffing stable. And to be honest with you, there's getting to be no other options.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put the
Bob
gun.
Evans to come back, but can we get somebody as good as him?
We'll do our best.
Yeah, it's consistently a problem and a roadblock and, yeah.
And the kids have to drive out here.
They do.
Have to.
Yeah,
And what we can do to help them.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a godsend for my kids, and it was the early morning thing, the weekends is hard. If you do it during the school day, like most of us sitting here did, it was much nicer. But
Mine did it
anyway,
in the summer.
yeah.
And that was great because you did it in the morning and then you went to work. And it worked out fine.
Exactly. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 6, recommend the board approve the following resolution, whereas New York real property tax law, section 459C and 467 were amended to increase the maximum income limit for seniors and certain disabled individuals eligible for real property tax reduction from various property taxes. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby authorizes the increases to the income limits such eligible property owners as contained in New York real property tax law, section 459 and 467, as amended, and such exemption shall be applicable to school taxes in such a manner equal to limitations set forth in the town of East Hampton's under the terms of local law 26 of 2022, as adopted by the town board on October 20th, 2022. That motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Any discussion?
Is this a senior citizen exemption?
So, under the previous law, a senior citizen who had an income of less than $29,000 a year could receive up to 50% rebate on what would otherwise be due on their property taxes. The state legislature passed a law which the governor signed to increase that from $29,000 to $50,000. And then there's a certain tail off if up to $58,000. But essentially it increases the income because $29,000 in 2022 is not what $50,000 is. The town board adopted that and they're asking whether school districts in East Hampton will be willing to change their tax policies and say.
So essentially, we're giving, with the vote before us, which I support, is to give senior citizens a bigger exemption on their property taxes.
Certain seniors.
Based on their income tax.
Senior
Low-income
citizens who have an income up to $50,000
Right.
and are primary homeowners would be eligible to receive 50% reduction that taxes otherwise due. Seniors with up to $58,000, it's a sliding scale. As you move towards $58,000, that percentage from 50% drops to 5%.
Right.
Seniors who may be in this group, I should say probably should contact the town to make sure that they are affected. The school district remains whole. because the levy is collected from other ratepayers in our taxing district. But it gives
But it's
seniors.
primary, so it's not someone's second home, it's not going.
I don't believe you're eligible for second home, but again, I would defer for final decision to the town.
So I'm gonna vote for this even though I'm a senior citizen, but I'm not eligible because my school board salary. Which is over.
Yeah, exactly. Good idea, John. I didn't think about that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 7. I'm not reading the whole thing. This is what Sam's presentation was about. It's for the $994,993 for the repair fund reserve. And I think Sam has already explained it very well. And does anybody from the board, can we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion from the board? Thank you, Sam, for the presentation. It's stuff that we need to do. I think it was part of smart budgeting and being, not having to do that, up and down type of budgeting, the yo-yo. So thank you. And anybody else have a comment?
I think some of these things have been requested over and over and
Yeah.
over again in the budgets, and we couldn't fit them in the budget. So it's really
Exactly.
great that we can use this to
And I should
to
just
finally
add,
catch up on these repairs.
any money that's left over, if we're able to bring this in for less than what we're saying, the board will be asked to refund that back to the reserve at the end of the year.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, that's good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that is it for that. So we have this pop in here now because it's relevant, I suppose. November board committee schedule, November 17th is academic at 1, personnel at 2, and policy will be immediately
No, that's
following.
been changed.
Oh, did it get, so the change is not noted on here?
Just no, because this came
Oh,
out,
I'm
I think
sorry.
just the
Policy gonna be Monday.
Monday, okay, my mistake,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
academic is at 1:00 on the 17th.
Yep.
That's it.
Personnel's off.
We need a joint.
Personnel's Monday at 2.
Yeah,
22nd.
policy.
Excuse me.
Monday.
Excuse me, the 22nd. And personnel and policy is the 22nd at 2 p.m.
Right.
Okay, sorry about that. What else do I have?
Just new business was facilities.
Yes.
I just wanted to say publicly, we're in preliminary discussions, the business office, myself and our director of facilities, and the facilities committee in looking at accessing our capital reserve for additional projects. More to come on that with more of a formal presentation for the public and the Board of Education. Again, that is a reserve. We already have the money in there. Am I covering it all?
Pretty much.
Thank you.
And then,
Anything for athletics committee, anything? Athletic committee, nothing.
No, I mean, I have the stuff, I will forward it to the committee.
Okay.
Sandra came and spent the day with me.
Matt, do you have anybody on the phone for public comment? I'm not sure.
No, there's no one else. There's no one on the phone for public comment.
Anybody here? They've already spoken, I suppose, so. Being here. All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'm gonna make a motion. Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Karen.
Have a good Thanksgiving.